invited Chief Zepezos, his wife, and Pocahontas to see his ship. The chief and his wife managed to lure Pocahontas onto Argyl's ship. They were well looked after, but by sunset Pocahontas realized that she was Captain Argyl's prisoner. Chief Zepezos and his wife had helped Captain Argyl capture Pocahontas for a payment of a copper kettle and some colored beads. So one day, Captain Argyl he invited Chief Zepezos, who was the chief of the Potomac tribe, and his wife and Pocahontas to see his ship as he was a naval officer. So the chief and the wife actually had a plan with Captain Argyl that they would bring Pocahontas onto Argyl's ship and she will be captivated by Captain Argyl. And for this, they would be given a copper kettle and some colored beads which they have asked for. And here it is strange to see that just for a copper kettle and colored beads, they agreed to Captain Argyl. Captain Argyl did not want to hurt Pocahontas, but he persuaded a local chief to join forces with him against Powhatan. Captain Argyl, though he captivated Pocahontas, but he didn't want to harm Pocahontas, and he just forced a local chief to join with him so that he can fight against Powhatan. Argyl then sailed to Jamestown. Everyone in Jamestown liked Pocahontas because they knew that she had saved Captain Smith's life twice and had brought them food during the long winter. Pocahontas was treated well, given English clothes to wear, taught English, and introduced to English manners and customs. So now Argyl along with Pocahontas sailed to Jamestown, and when they reached their settlement, the Jamestown people, they were very happy. The settlers were very happy to see Pocahontas because they had already heard from John Smith how she had helped him twice. Isn't it? Saved his life twice. And the time they were starving during the long winter, she used to provide them with the gifts of food. So she was treated nicely there in the settlement, and she was given English clothes to wear, and she was taught English and introduced to the English manners. Argyl sent word to Powhatan that he had captured Pocahontas, saying she would be freed if Powhatan would release the English prisoners and also return the English weapons and tools that his warriors had taken. Now Argyl he sent a message to Powhatan that his daughter was under his captivation and that she will be released only if Powhatan releases English prisoners, those who are under his captivation, and return the weapons and tools that his warriors had taken. At first, Argyl's plan seemed to work. After Powhatan heard the kidnapping and Argyl's ransom demand, the chief freed 7 English prisoners. Now, after knowing about the kidnapping of his daughter and the Argyl's ransom means any amount that is demanded to release the captive. So the chief he freed only 7 English prisoners, but he didn't return the stolen weapon and tools. As time passed without a solution, Powhatan finally refused to negotiate anymore. Now, then also Argyl he didn't freed Pocahontas, and so Powhatan he didn't want to return the stolen weapons and tools. So they didn't arrive to any solution, and finally Powhatan he refused to discuss anymore on this matter. By March 1614, everything had changed in Pocahontas' life. By then, she had become a Christian. After this conversion, she was named Rebecca. So by March 1614, everything had changed in Pocahontas' life. How? Because she had converted to Christianity, and she got a Christian name Rebecca. Powhatan did not return the weapons, so Pocahontas had to stay in Jamestown, but she was not unhappy, as the weapons were not returned by the Powhatan, so she had to stay in the Jamestown settlement. But one thing was that she was not unhappy. In April 1614, Pocahontas she married John Rolfe, a young tobacco farmer. The governor of Virginia, Thomas Dale, and Chief Powhatan both assented to their marriage. So in April 1614, Pocahontas, she got married to John Rolfe, who was a young tobacco planter who had a plantation near the Jamestown settlement. And the governor of Virginia, who was Thomas Dale that time, and Chief Powhatan, Pocahontas' father, both of them, they agreed to their marriage. Pocahontas, she was the first Native American to marry a white man. The people of Jamestown and the tribe celebrated the marriage together. The following year, Pocahontas gave birth to a son, Thomas. So, Pocahontas was the very first Native American who married a white man, an Englishman. And so the people of Jamestown and tribes, both of them, they were happy about this, and they celebrated their marriage together. And the next year, in the year 1615, Pocahontas gave birth to a son who was named Thomas. There was another very important outcome of the marriage, the Peace of Pocahontas. The union of the native Powhatan women and the Englishman helped to calm the ongoing conflicts between the tribes and the colonists. Pocahontas was seen to be the symbol of these peaceful times. So one outcome of the marriage was that the settlers and the Powhatans both were happy about it. And second thing was, now the union of native Powhatan women and the Englishmen, both they wanted that the conflict that was going between tribes and the colonists should end, because it is affecting both of their lives. Pocahontas was seen to be the symbol of these peaceful times, as she tried a lot. And so that period of peace is known as Peace of Pocahontas. Pocahontas and her family, along with Thomas Dale and some young Powhatan women, were on a ship to England in the spring 1616 with the goal of raising support for their settlements. Now from Jamestown, they sailed to England in the spring of 1616 with the aim of raising funds for the settlement. After docking in September 1616, the group toured all the England before finally arriving in London. So after landing in September 1616, the group, it just had a tour of England before arriving in London. And on her arrival, the Virginia Company got a portrait of Pocahontas done, so to publicize her visit, to make it a big event. The London Society, as well as important investors, met Pocahontas and they found her enchanting. Enchanting means pleasing, delightful, appealing. Pocahontas caused a great sensation. In London, she met some of the city's most important people. She even met King James I. She also met John Smith after many years. So now Pocahontas had become a celebrity. In London, she met some of the most important people. Even she met the King James I and John Smith, whom everyone was thinking that he had died. Smith had never forgotten the courageous Powhatan girl, and so he wrote a letter to Queen Anne of Denmark. She was King James' first wife, telling her all the things of what Pocahontas had done to help the Jamestown settlers. So in 1788, Virginia, it became a state of the United States. It became part of the United States. Pocahontas is remembered as a princess who brought about peace between the English newcomers and the Native Americans. So still she